when you're younger in your 20s, like who the wants to get married and settle down?
Yeah.
Some people, but not me at that point.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to feel the thrill. I want to be getting my head bashed in the mattress. I want to be getting flipped upside down, and then I want to be getting ghosted the next day. I want to have my heart ripped out of my chest, and I want to do it all over again and then some. And then when you get a little older, you're kind of like, I literally don't have time.
The 2025 modern woman, fellas. There you have it. These women want to get their heads smashed into a headboard. They want to get their guts rearranged like they're having gastric bypass surgery. They want to get ran through like a field of tall grass. They want to get lied to, cheated on, misled, manipulated. And once they have more baggage than a 727 airplane, that's when they want to settle down and get married. So, take your pick, fellas. That's what we got.
All right, so did this guy overreact? That's the question here. And ladies, I think a whole lot of you are going to be really upset at me when I give you my opinion on this. Her husband stopped the honeymoon on the first night and they went home, okay? And the reason that he did this, she's asking for help, by the way, on TikTok for women to back her up and say that what she did was okay. The reason that he did this was because on her phone was a text the day they got married. And that text was to her ex, saying this is goodbye forever, okay? And he just said, boom, we're done, and went to the honeymoon or whatever. And so she wanted support, saying it was okay because she needed closure. That's what she said. Okay, now I'm gonna give you my opinion, all right? And if you give me your answer, who's right, the husband or the wife there? Give me your answer, let me know it. But I'm gonna give you my opinion, and if that was somebody I was with, I would have gone home too. I would not only go home, I'd divorce her. Period.
I 100% agree with this man because this ain't cool at all. Why are you thinking about your ex on our wedding day? I know you tried to blow it off as closure, but you're thinking about your ex on our wedding day. Apparently, you got some unresolved stuff you need to deal with. That is the text message you send after we get engaged or after like a couple months of dating once we realize that we are going to take it to the next level. You don't send that on a wedding day. So yes, I'm out. I would just move on and continue doing whatever I was doing before I met her because I want nothing to do with this. If you sign up for that, you are walking right into a problem, and I don't like problems. And I know a bunch of the women in the comments probably agreed with her and was cheering her on, but I can guarantee you if you flip it around, all of those hypocritical women will be saying the same thing I'm saying right now. So they can miss me with that. So just like this man, I know some people won't like this answer, but it is what it is. But I want to know what y'all would do in that situation.
Comment that you made, one of your fights, you were like, this fight is literally still paying for my separation and my divorce.
Yeah.
Is that something that you still feel like you're still having to commit so much money to that financial burden and to support him?
Yes, 100%. It's something that, like, living in California, you know, it's a state that it's like, it blows my mind. It blows my mind how basically I go to court almost every year because he comes with this, you know, whole map of how my career will be, you know, like, oh, that she's gonna win the belt here in a couple years and then she's gonna make this money. And it's just like, it's crazy to me how people can just be money orientated about other people's money, you know what I mean?
He goes in there and like projects your earnings.
Yes. Yeah, well, him and his lawyers, right? Yeah, like, okay, so she'll probably win the belt in 2 years or 1 year, and then people who win the belt, they make about this much money. I don't work. I'm like trying to work and provide this life for my daughter and like being a mom and taking care of her and doing all this thing, and then I still have to pay him, and I have to pay his lawyers to fight against me, and so I'm like paying his lawyers' fees to get my money, and I'm paying my lawyer, and then I'm paying him just to be like a dad. You know what I mean? Just like we have 50-50. So like he has half the time, I have half the time, and I pay for like health insurance and all that extra stuff because I make the most money, but he doesn't work at all, you know, like no work.
So you married somebody out of love, the love ran out, and now this person is doing everything they can to make your life miserable and to drain your pockets by taking everything they can from you. As I always say, welcome to the man experience. A lot of you women say you can do anything a man can do. Well, here you go. Have at it. And she even said it's not right for somebody to be counting your coins to see how much money you will make in the future. Well, you need to tell your people that. Tell these other women that they need to stop doing that because that's what they do.
That's my move.
I know a lot of women may be watching this video and they're feeling bad for you, but best believe that is not what's happening with the men because a lot of us have been there and we've done that, so we have no sympathy for you. I will say this, you always hear men online saying we need to change these marriage laws. We need to do something about it because it's really hard on the person who is making all the money. But my spidey senses are telling me you're gonna hear a lot more women coming online complaining about this. And to all you boss babes out there who are married and you're worried about your man taking all your money in a divorce, just remember what Janet Jackson said. So suck it up, Buttercup, and keep writing those checks.
I get so mad when men hit on me after I've already paid for the service or the food or the drinks or whatever I was doing when they caught me and we're trying like, or like spotted me and were plotting on me. Like, you waited till after I paid and I'm gonna be so nasty and mean to you.
So here's another chick who's probably gonna miss out on that great guy because she's so worried about somebody rolling up on her paying for that drink or that $50 brunch that she just had, which is insane to me because you already planned to pay for it. But because he came after, she don't want to talk. You know what? These 2025 women are sure going through it, man. It has to be the economy because I've never seen this many begging, broke, money grubbing, money hungry women in my life. I have no idea what's going on, but let me just share something with you. Back when I was younger, when I used to go out a lot, I used to go to the clubs, whatever, and I always say how I was very aggressive. I would go up to a woman in a minute, start a conversation, get to know somebody. But back then, I wasn't buying no girl a drink just to have a conversation. So once I realized what type of time some of these women were on, I started doing exactly what she was talking about. If it was a girl that I liked, but I saw her sitting at the bar, I would always give it a minute. I always did that because I didn't know if her boyfriend or her husband was gonna come in. He's parking the car or whatever. So I would never just walk up. But after that time period was over, as soon as I saw the bartender bring her a drink, once the drink was in front of her, I was like Denzel in The Equalizer. I set my little timer and everything because my goal was to get in and get out. If she wanted another drink, that's on her. So I would go over there, say what I gotta say. If she was interested, cool, I'll get her number, keep it moving. If she wasn't interested, cool, I didn't get her number, but I kept it moving because all I wanted to do was get her information anyway. So I didn't want to have to spend money to do that. And it worked like a charm. I did it a bunch of times back in my 20s. Now I will say if I went over there and the conversation was good and we really were having a good interaction, there is a chance I would have stayed and then whatever would have happened at that point would have happened. But my primary reason for doing this was, number one, I do not believe you should have to buy a girl a drink to get a conversation. But my main reason for doing this is I didn't want to come over here to buy you a drink just so you can blow me off and then give your number to the dude you really liked. The thought of paying for rejection just doesn't sit well with me. And I know some women that hear this and have a problem with it, but who cares? Y'all playing games at the bar, so we're playing games too. Because there are a bunch of women who go out, sit at the bar just so a guy can buy them a drink. A lot of these chicks don't even got money. They just sit at the bar holding an empty purse, hoping some dude come along and buy them a drink. And that dude was not gonna be me. So by doing this, I avoided all of that. I say all that to say there are a handful of men out there who will do that. But that is not the majority of men. The majority of men are just walking over there because they see a pretty girl and they coming to talk to you, and it just happened to be after you pay for your meal or your drink. Either way, what difference does that make? If he's a good guy, the conversation is good, you've already had that in your budget to pay for your dinner, your drink. Why are you mad at him because he came over after you paid for it? That is so insane to me, but it's okay because 30, 40 years, she's gonna probably look back at it and regret all those men she passed up that she knew nothing about based on her just wanting somebody to pick up the check. Because she's gonna be older, she's not gonna be having those men approach her the same way they did when she was younger. I'm just saying there are a lot of good men out there and you're probably gonna pass up on a lot of them because you're overthinking the situation. But hey, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.
Fellas, how are we feeling about this? He made his girlfriend a Hello Kitty bouquet all by himself. Then this guy says, this is how every man starts. Godspeed, little bro. Number one, I hope this guy right here can stay in this mode for as long as he can. My goal for him is to find a girl who really appreciates this and stays with him for life. Because men, we are the real romantics. Women receive romance, we give romance. And here's what happened to almost every guy watching this. We gave romance over and over and over to the wrong girl, and basically women beat romance out of us to the point where it's like, yo, y'all ain't worth it. Because every guy watching this right now has a villain story where they did something so beautiful, so nice for a girl, just for her to hook up with the football player or the other guy. And you're like, wait a minute, I did all this for you and you did that to me? Like I said, hopefully he can stay this way for as long as he can, and hopefully a girl doesn't beat the romance out of him.
I talk about this all the time. Unfortunately, this does happen to a lot of men. A lot of men have to go through this same thing before they realize the true nature of a lot of women. I'm not saying all women, but a lot of women. You do all that nice stuff and it just don't work out for you. I'm with this man. I hope this man can keep this innocence forever. He meets one girl, she's appreciative of all this stuff. They get married and live happily ever after. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen for a lot of men. And they have to take it on the chin. Some men even take it on the chin a couple times before they realize that a lot lot of women say they want this stuff, but it's just not true. This is why I tell men to stay away from listening to women when they're telling you what to do for women. It sounds like it would make sense to listen to the source, but that's not the right thing to do, because a lot of them are saying what they believe they want, but the fact is they're lying. It's just that simple. They're just lying. They're lying to themselves. They're lying to you. They say whatever in that moment, but when it really boils down to it, it is not true. This is not all women. This is just a lot of them. And I also agree with him when he said men are the romantics. Men are the ones that will do all this stuff to try to make you smile and make you happy. But like he said, you get burned a couple times and you just stop doing that stuff. Most men will still do it for a woman they love. It's just we're not doing it for randoms or strangers or girls on the first date. We're just not doing it for them. But anyway, I wish this kid the best. He has an innocence about him and I don't want to see it go anywhere. So I really hope he's investing into the right girl in this situation. But anyway, leave your thoughts in the video. Appreciate you watching. See you next time.